Kehawe, Iftakat Johan Gnis Geesh, Huchi Wush Kanach, Hututa Adi Aya, Yahana, Kwasnaski Kagachtu Anushi, Tlingit, Wush Tin has Prusaga, Wush Katniki, Dach Aya Hajiwu, Chakodiede. Ade has Shkautaniki, ya Kuhitch Shasti. What's the Skaka Aya Gachtutu? Echosagu, yes, the cut at Gachtutu apart to us. Shuko Aya Kashka Wushkashniki Aya Gachtu Ach, ya Geesh Aya Yidu so. A kach we Johanna do sa online create yadu we link at the way one kanins kesh usina we internet video we hangouts to nach bashi to us group ilshetini YouTube to nach het WhatsApp what he it kijk in clinic dakasait was ago where Alex Andrews was Sally Hopkins today here connected team ako het tishukush kasniki konach it was Nyman da dakasait was ago Geesh technique or
the Geesh technique.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Kega. Chiku, Konachike of Satini, you go out one Kosaku, Kashishke, away Yajne. Konachawe Echatushitsin, ya Hayuchatangidat, Kadain Yaji Yene, Achoe, Stupa Hatati, Kehawa. Any questions? Anything you want to say before we get started?
We got nach Schkachnik, got to up here.
Question.
Where could hitch up what?
Which wants to Google?
Gosh, yeah, Ayana Shitzi Shasti do Schkachnik. Achaya was go cook hitch.
Okay.
I sat where Schkachnik too. Well, Kuslagao dot.
Yeah, where?
Hesh Sally Hopkins do Hunki Yan Shagun dot away. Shakudzi away.
Oh, what? Yeah, today Kuhit it was a good Kanaki Adusa our Jack Adusa was Shka one away ye atwune it was Chakugi Wakoski. Okay. Okay, that's what he Shukwa Geesh Shitzi Aya Kanach Khadatu we Kawak Kunaku Aya Wak Hikta way with now Kasye Aya Christine.
Dasa Unak.
Naski ya Akhwak Khwaskinak yes the Katsina Kunach Kaudaganiwa Nak Ha Hesh Hell quality focus I
Oh,
no so get dach hours panacht hell gedeen at chosatin.
Tlingit what she's tin. Where
Geesh.
where knock duck hit the aksha. Are they pretty good?
But shao tla dak hiti.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well,
No dak hiti is all okay. Come,
Gunda would
Christian, how are you?
young now.
Oh. Subtitles eat to us, Google.
whatever, whatever anyone wants. Janasa hasifu maksifu.
Was thing that you could be pleased for me, yeah.
Yeah, hell, but just dech when it's had you Christian ne, but kapt the hun, kapt was the name of each name. Yeah, okay, hospitalien, was, stereotypen, vanach, eat has the she, Geesh ja video tin, kawu hain a kawanik, shukwa tlingit tangitin, kun, skachlenik, ya konach awewe an kadishkita at tunach. Hain a kawanik zu klitzi awe, eshwa tusa kuqa ya konach klitzina ya a day you out the taniye khashkhaw a joyach to us go yat a shukwa ya yaki ya shit the hain klinkich kashniki putzati just ha koko dakha astituch konach yiti the katuha a dutsa kadena usaku ha qosti qa ha yukhatamdi ya hashkashnik ki kunshkashnik ki just chayigu genki a kadane has a yaut ku a joya trasugu yata aya shukoya yaki.
Gunda would take a young now. Sarskun is Kaedes will Hancha the Krikas the Natachas Kakuchaya into Egypt Satin Sa Kaka Krit. Achanka na Kucha associating Krit and not KOC good. Hasastin. As the Kakai Kekate I keep up to shot. Yaki Yakakade Secretary, Geesh gaan is niet Christen. Christen na de goede Geesh dat is de gaat. Het gaan kan kochen. De gaan kan niet. Ja, ik zag gauw schijt. Als dat kinderen ja, de goede kiet. Goed. Ja, gewoon de kiekers weer, Sitka. Het gekocht dat Geesh ja. En geen hartpartie. Ja, dat is wel altijd gezegd. Dus je går heen. Je kunt er gaan, dan als je ziet goed. De kriek. Hij gaat ook wel goed eten. S'avonds als kinderen dat gaan, wanneer zo ziet goed. Gekadig. Ik ga hele paneel zien goed. En ga je de kiekers eruit. Het gaat wel, het gaat daar zo. At the sale to Geesh. Hoeft de zee gaan achter gek. Gewoon je kiezen naar Geesh. Dat ja. Als die schouw niet door zou. Ja. Dat dragonfly. Als de knagja dat hier. Als die schouw. Het is Geesh. I'm going to learn English. When I was growing up in Killer Snow, boy, there used to be a lot of them come off that Stillwater Lake in the back, middle of them. There's a lot of those just dragonfly. They used to tell me, they used to tell us kids, don't let it land on your head, you'll get bald. Your hair will come off. My father-in-law, Judson, told me he has taught the same thing here. Matthew Fred used to get carried away when he's telling this story in Tlingit. There in Lublin. Did they get bald? He used to get mad at me. Kuna Geesh na Sitka, and Nakeo Siku. There's to be good. You know what they are. Pesach is a steak. A cut steak out. A size of a steak. You can put it there. A size of a steak. This extended here on the heart now. Shot behind the Hakaka is to get to go out. On Sukshawa, Jack Keith. Secretary Joe Jack. On the Geesh. Sana Geesh, nach der Cut. The whole enough. Enough after she stuck cut Chatham Street.
There's no subtitles here?
At China. Mexican guy. You keep the Shantu the Rook with who Joe and cut that trick up, Jade. The Kazami. Australia. Akkas das hier saai. A queer party trial is the cool dancing start old city. That's it.
So do a song. Play.
Hashash
How? Iya. Deshitan. Astu atu.
Yishkashniki owa. Weka. Din Hosapu or Nisekuga. Shkashnik.
Ja, het den kwa ach. Kaya ach weskasnik.
So kijk graag enig kwa ach. Dag Kisani has die Yijne Shashaki de has K Uwogut. Naka ja het de Twasagu ja Kunach Ikide Naki de has Alqaim. Well Pade has to ani day has au shagu way ha ya kunach wat Tlingit kusti tek yak te yak dech nask yakuni ak shitihin ha ye away hatud wuhi at away shitihin yak ani day ha at the wood klege has to asagu ye away Tlingit and the tani ye tek yak wat has to asagu wuch the say chat the cut at wat adugu ka at khaf shitihin ka wat gu ga has pushi at away we kisani away de shitan hasati ye away ach ya was uhana ya ach it kuha wa akwa ta aqa it kuha khafwa ta aqwa tudekhia as khair ya kisani adu sadu it kuha ta chu jak ya du shakach away wujakak ko away khashash khaw takem tigit aw satin astifani de wu kuch we kha ye away has to wasagu at the wood ich kitach aqa qonneke hasu ich ka yende haslu yo kibugu ye away machwen hasu wahin we khashash kha اخوسكو تشت كدي شيطان قوقش عن دون اخوسكو يا the
Let's
two
do cautious how where kudas where's again
khashashkha kusti
shakiat anyway
okay dansa Johan
yukhatan islaya yukhatan islaya Johan
yukhaysa
kwan just
kawakhet shanke wait put away subtitles Tom that ay chik kone khasakhan di yukhatangi
wasa kopaha yukhatangi yukhakh kultaat yukhatangi wasa kopaha picture wasa kopaha achaya guk ye khayakha guk kana up kanai up
is a teen shit the him way wasai kugeya way verbs adat swimming
yausiku
yausiku shukwa
was
yadu
wasihu atsu
the touch away yeah touch aiga to shugu away yijin tak na touch shugu verb slap play ka khinach touch ak kin tak at the khinach away khat sa wash Michael Phelps the kat has to do sa kadain au shugu
Keat
hin tak wuk up ye Keat
Hakian.
Ja, hast du Yacht as Auxakud? Ha Yahin. Ja, du Yahin was Khat Aya Khat Yahoo
Hosihu. Sihu.
Yahoo Yakwan
Huh. Sihu. Yakdaka. Hosihu.
Okay.
Ewe Hwa Kitchnach Tuchsta. What Kushta Pani.
Okay.
Let's do Kesa Kawashi. Hosihu. Yakdaka.
Wait, so who Yahoo Lekach in dog paddling yeah. Douche kefu. Ah, go. Hinya kasquakik. Yatetsu Judahu Kwan. Yeah.
There we go. Sihu.
Yeah.
Wet. Den
Yes. One cleanings plural singular shubu yanagut. Yahasnaat. Hasuhu. Ha Sikwan. Yadu Yautze such a way Hindi Kayinde has to sha Yasahun Yatetsu Yake away Ya Kakatse Waka Kun
yeah.
A day
Yaudihun.
Yet that yeah, we you go ut who
Ach, tuurlijk, Yai Duhu, yeah.
driftwood pile
Ja, Duhu, yeah,
Pixies.
Well, has Guggy Yao Duhu, no, to Yeti, not klar.
I question.
Guggy Yao Duhu, where hast du
Yeah, well, yeah, to ya at kutu ayegi satin aqa hastu ya as who well ya awet ya Tlingit tundatani adan kayatatsu ya gu yasagu keet kha kakwat chishugu atwe yak shidhin yak at has yaksagu.
We skersnig at Kwasi Achach iPod tin Tess Kidim Achwa Ach Kwa Kwas Ye Ekhwaji and Dutu Dot.
Tanach happy count killer whales like
I do just our job. Peach
we shukwa kustin na take keet na shukwa junk
Yeah,
away
where do where a sake aware where do ku hate
yeah
okay what
Ekhwaji we kustin na kudzati khwaach kich dot khuna khatek yak dot
TNAD has to do
kustin na
yeah where Ikhwaji where Kakwan ish dushkashnike Katsewa Kak Tlingit Kak no like Kak
what is it
Aaron Bean,
Mm.
Duchedach, away awa ach, kakwan ish, TNA dich setien,
Okay.
Achaya echwachi. Atsu du hastu kodasi, hastu hu, TNA di, hastu at uwu away, we kustin nak ayahaye.
Okay.
Achaya, ach tuasigo, ajite, kukwati weshkasnik.
Mm.
What's the Kuktesh, Dennis Nimmer, Katsu, David Jensen, Hef Wait, David Jensen, Hef Likati, David Jensen.
Jakuta. Again. Kun nach so way.
Sim Shan, Kanika, Tlingit,
Kuna ayaku. Is it Tlingit, David Jensen? Wait. Sean.
David Jensen, TNAD, Hastu Shade Honey,
Mm.
Kitch Khan, Aye Yeti Yedat Aqua, do Shagun Ani, Shikan, okay,
Mm.
Eshklasaku, Ikki away.
Yisaku Hiltashugu at away. Adat away yitahutan. What's Hilkadin Hosaku? Chagude. Chagudach. Hiltashugu at Hoa. Deka Krinach. Chagude. Chagudach.
Chalk.
Deka Krinach das away.
Long time ago.
Long ago.
Chagudach.
From long ago. Where? Chuchagu dachshkashnik away kakashanik.
Chagudach. Just
Chuchagu dach.
real. Chagude.
So for a long time.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you can.
Jeez. Yeah.
I would say, all right, I don't know, who cares what I would say, but the way that I think that I've heard it was Chuchagu Dachawa, and then they would talk about it a little bit, and then say, Yesu Yigdadide.
Yeah, from long ago.
This is from a long ago that I'm
Until
talking
today.
about, and now it's still going on today.
Yeah, Kunachatua Saku, yeah, time references at a way, Shkashnika, Gach, Yishayech, next week, Tuasaku Kunach, away, Yishkashniki, at a way, that away, just Chagude, Chagudach, Yidatide, Yidat Pu'a, Kun Ye Achawe, Kashkawu, Kun Yagi Zawepoa. One Panins had Shkashniki to Khaya. I can't say what was on do a song. Riddle, think it Hena
Kukedi.
at Kukedi. Has our Shayech Shkashniki took. Ha. One niece away, one niece away, Kunyaki is away. Yeah, away, yeah.
Kun Uchi Sawe. How many days did they sleep over there?
Yeah, away.
Dachwetza, Atchwetza, Owe.
Cool. Got that too.
Oh,
Riddle.
wow, okay. Oh, yeah, Gaku.
One kanin.
There's a different kind of Petku KDs. Still a.
Chishugugwation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Petku KD seems like a shorter thing, but. No, a Gaku seems like a shorter thing, but a KD seems like it's a. Yeah, it's a parable. There we go.
Right, parable. So there's parable, there's KD, there's and sometimes when they are using a riddle, like so like sometimes they'll say KD, and then there's some saying that follows that, like even an Athabascan sauce would break, right?
Oh yeah,
some of them are not
that's
as clear as others, right?
No. That's I don't think that's KD. That's Let me think. It's in Sally Hopkins.
Is it?
Yeah. Something like two. No. It's in Hatu Nagrius with Nata. It's like the saying, we are only imitating
Well, there's
our ancestors.
Padukeku, we use that one. Or
It's in Strongman too. It's in Strongman too, where they say it's like the saying where he was only acting like a bailiff. It's also in Kakehte, where they're saying it's like the saying he was just taking the Athabascan sound.
And sometimes when they're using these riddles, it's a question, and they're expecting an answer. But that seems to come more in speech. So atqatku or atqatuteku.
I think that's what I was trying to think. That's what I was trying to think. Atqatuteku. Atqatku. That one?
Atqatku.
Okay, Atqatku.
I was close. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Okay.
A huge and strong Geesh for filling my ears with Tlingit. I'm so grateful. And I'm going to go to the event over at Perseverance, so I'm going to sign off now.
Geesh.
I forgot my book, but I need to get your autograph. I got the,
For the dangerous idea?
Dangerous idea.
Oh, that too.
Cool.
Yeah. But we're going to present at the class in, what's the name of the class you're teaching?
ANCSA and self-governance? Tribal governance.
People should understand Kathy and Peter know, especially with the treatise session coming up. It's so important. The idea that Alaska wasn't freaking sold, the land wasn't sold. So
150th sesquicentennial. It turned out Russia did not own all of Alaska.
Yep.
And so to say that there was a sale is really incorrect. It was a transfer, it was a cession, meaning CESSIO, and it was a quitclaim deed, wasn't a warranty deed. There's no war. We, the Americans, essentially
There we
bought
go.
the Russian claim to Alaska. We bought the Russian claim. What do you say?
I just found the word.
Chayachakaku owe akaya aya uti
Gadiki Ku must
Ah,
be another
they-
way to say it.
hafifkos de kunu guye chayachakaku. That's what she said. It is just like that saying that we are only imitating the way that our grandparents used to do things.
These are not my words, in other words.
Yeah, totally.
Ku.
See you next time.
Hey,
folks.
Geesh.
Geesh. Was Pendleton on eBay before you got $40. $40. No holes or rips or tears. I emailed my wife to get it, but she had crying babies, so.
Asli at Sitka. Mexico.
Johnson?
Kaseye at Web. What? At Geesh. What? What? Yeah. Chakut at Khader to extract test. Don't you be cat native or Kahat and they should.
Go.
What's the
They can't away with it. Can't took it away. Hard GTAT. What spoiled. It was
To talk away, Kadane Shitin or Kadane Shitin, where Kuitach. It's the Katka Kadane used to mean. Akaida.
Adusa. Test hours for a dot what kunach. Kind of what could the tea way? Unconcerning.
Salmonella. Good. Botulism. Yates.
That has to G.
Sean.
Remedy away.
After you came test, you got
That has something to do with like my whole head doing things, but if I don't get enough sleep now, I'm just like sick. Like I'm living here at bed.
Okay,
Oh, okay. Am I still taking the girls to that birthday party? On Saturday?
Oh.
That look at confusion makes me, yeah, no. I can, but,
Shouldn't we get it?
are you gonna be at that?
Hmm?
You're gonna be at that this weekend? Oh, so now you can.
Gotcha.
I got you. We should also try to watching holiday.
Eyes hurt.
Saturday.
Eyes were like super dilating, crazy. I have to turn all these lights off.
Did you get an eye exam or something?
Through the drops in. She's like, these are gonna numb your eyes. These are gonna make it so you can't focus. These are gonna make it so that like crazy dilated. It's like I couldn't see anything. It was I couldn't see it for like 30 feet. Was like I could see things at 30 feet,
Did you
not
try
closer
that
or farther.
for that?
Yes, I did. I didn't know it was gonna be that bad. I was kind of like, oh, maybe I'll just go to Costco for a little while. Then I walk around like, I can't read anything. That's really weird. Who's Home Depot? I was like, can you help me find some things?
Just hold my hand and walk
Yeah.
through the store.
I can't read anything. Well, we're gonna can for it.
Who's back at home?
Uh,
We could probably still have some inside.
Steven from last year?
Oh, okay. It wasn't for food at my house. If you buy stuff, check that out.
Stop it.
I was baking last night, and I found some cake mix that expired. I was like, oh, better throw that away.
There's some free chip boxes in the wallet that expired in 2012. Honestly, not that committed to going to the gym.
I just feel so bad.
Percentage load is supposed to be 0 hours for you tests. Yeah. And it's really, I get really tired because I have to think so hard. It's really hard to teach something that you're not like confident in. Oh, yeah.
I do it all the time. That's every day of my life.
Today, someone asked me for like some weather verbs, and it was like doc Lucy 10, and they're like, what's the doc? And I was like, oh. I know that, but I don't really know how to explain it to
It's
you.
there, it's just there.
I was like,
Don't worry
I'll
about it.
figure it out, I'll tell you guys next time.
It's dock. It seems to be a directional preverb that is out to sea, falling on fire, precipitation to fall, or emerging from some, like the woods or something.
Falling on fire,
Out to the open, out to sea, or precipitation to fall.
and then I think it's yay, cook, like, eh. Just want to know what the yay is.
Wait, shouldn't be yay,
Is it K?
should be K.
Okay, yeah.
K or A.
It's
So
eh.
the dock part, we'll go back to that for a second, is really neat because if you say out to sea and precipitation are the same, that means the Tlingit that's in the water cycle. It's part of the water cycle. Ah, we got science. E-I-T-K, chicha. And then the K, and you'd say ye akwatagan, it's going to sunshine. K, it's going to be good. All g conjugation verbs get K as a preverb in future and progressive imperfective forms. All q conjugations get ye. And it's important to remember, because I said to Nora, ya on the gun. She said, yay on the gun. it's sun shining now. So same thing. So that's why you've got yanagat, but then you've got kani what, you're growing up. Kani what, you're growing up. And then raising kanis what. And so this is why the conjugation prefix has to be, it's really hard to teach this stuff without doing grammar. Because some people tell me, well, the kids aren't ready for grammar. I'm like, are you just going to say it's a bunch of random stuff? Because it's not, it's all tied together. But then,
Just say, it's just what it is.
that's just how it is. But yeah,
Just hand out copies of the verbal structure.
Yeah. Be like, read this and you'll
if you look at this chart, it's really straightforward. Yeah, the future, so that's when you get the future forms. And that's why you say, ye ikwasatin. I'll see you, ye gachtusatin. But you got to make sure that you're noting whether it's the high tone ye, which is thus, or ye, which is downward. Although it doesn't always have meaning. Sometimes it's just the preverb turns on in certain verb modes.
Yeah, this is the type of stuff where like I can follow you when you're saying it, but then when you're like, okay, now explain it to me, I'm like, haha.
That's how it goes. That's why you got to teach. The more you teach, the more you're like, okay, brain, you don't know that yet. And it's always when you're explaining something. Yeah, I'll do this. Then you're explaining, and all of a sudden you're talking really slow because you're like, is this how it is? That's fun. Huh, okay. The cut. You sure that was pinched?
Is that long ago? This is both.
It was
the
Tawatan.
and also merging. Which
Well, I didn't read that.
like I think you could say
I just
like,
spelled it wrong.
Doc, what good? It's like a deer walked out. Geesh. Huwakan Doc, what good?
Oh, and then, yeah, and so doc is a zero conjugation motion. That's where you get uwakut instead of woo.
Say finding kubur adik pasta.
That's
Kubur adik pasta.
oh, you can. So it seems maybe there's probably some sort of meaning thing to it, like maybe a
There we go.
Putwakik is maybe I should know it, but I've forgotten it. And then maybe, because he was saying he was saying that, and maybe that's just I just don't know it.
Only the elders who really know say it the way I talk.
This is the Krepa.
And then I'm gonna write about this on Facebook. I'm gonna air my grievances.
Okay. Well, let's do a quick check-in. Just around the room, just tell me one thing. I don't care what it is.
Enough?
It'd be nice. Doesn't have to. And then we'll get back in, and we'll move on to something else. Oh, it should be related to Tlingit.
It's like, Cope's retiring, I'm a little bummed about
I'm going to retire.
I think I'm doing well at comprehension. I don't know how you would say that. Yeah. But then formulating a response, like, in the moment is part of it. It's so challenging.
Hosiku Kadeni Arch Hayuhatangia Wham up Yayidat Jutok Hana up Eda Haifa Wham just a tuna away Yay Yakitlak Hayuhatangi. Yeah, when
I'm doing all right. Similar boat, I think. This has been a really good semester. I'm glad I took this class over Shakespeare.
Okay.
Even if there were castles along the way. I think it's been a good semester, and I've loved reading the stories. Doing
I just keep thinking about this book, especially the story of Glacier Bidding Bay. This blows my mind.
Yeah.
I brought these two books into the high school today in the Tlingit classes and just passed them around so people could kind of look at them. And was trying to tell them how amazing they were, but I didn't do that good of a job of explaining it. I'm kind of really intimidated about the idea of telling a story in a week, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can't extend it. Let's just do that the week after.
Yeah, that's been taking me a long time.
That's good.
Yeah, it's been a really good semester for me, but just kind of also weird and crazy. But I had a really good time when we were reading Hashuka and Hatuanagus especially. And well, I know I could always be using Cricket more, but I went deer hunting a few times, and that was like really therapeutic for me, and made me just not so stuck in a rut of sitting at home reading all the time. And I don't know, getting out in the woods and thinking about Tlingit was really helpful for me.
Okay. Chiku.
This, yeah, it's been a great course. I find I try to work on the Tlingit every day, do something with it anyways, and it helps keep me healthy, I think. You know, it's good stuff. I just have a question. I guess we're telling stories next week, are we? Okay. If I take a story that someone else told and tell it my way, is that a problem, or is that how does I'm thinking Duktuk I'm just not sure how much leeway there is there in terms of telling a story myself or whatever.
Yeah, that's definitely what's expected. And so when we say you're telling a story, it shouldn't be, hey, I went to the grocery store the other day, but it should be one of these big sort of epic variety stories, which it does put a lot of pressure on you, which I think is good. But also we keep in mind that we are just practicing. This is not a pu'ik. This is not going to be in the next volume of Tlingit oral literature yet. Yeah, and so just remember, it's a moment passing between us as learners of the language and a chance for us to try things out. And it should be. And sometimes, as you tell a story, there might be, oh, well, there's this version, then I heard this, which is a little different. And I kind of want to put both these elements together, and that's fine. And some of those could be really big decisions. Some of the stories have these really big variances, and some of them, there's small details that get shifted a little bit. So there seem to be some really fundamental moments, but that's kind of up to you. But there are certain things that define certain stories, like, and there seems to be like sequences, so in this story, this thing happens, and then this thing happens, and then this thing happens. And so if you leave out one of those big things, it's getting into the territory where maybe it's getting skipped over a little bit. But yeah, you should be telling it your own way, just the best you can. It should take about 45 minutes. I mean, it should take about 3 to 5 minutes. And it should be entirely in Tlingit. It should be entirely in Tlingit. I would prefer, much prefer that you're not reading it from a piece of paper, but you have internalized it, and you are telling it to us. So I would say pick one that you're fairly familiar with, or pick one that you want to challenge yourself to learn, and that's your mission. That's your only final. No problem. I put a picture of like this person standing in front of a gigantic tidal wave the other day on Facebook. It's like when you realize how soon finals are, something like that. Yay.
And with what Lance is saying, not to necessarily think about it for this final, but also just to recognize that there's a long, complex discussion on how tradition is maintained, how it's passed on. One thing I think in particular is what gets reinforced often is that we're not just generically maintaining Tlingit culture, but we are the embodiment of our lineages, taking the place and standing in the place of our ancestors, in particular lineages of the clans that we represent.
Yeah.
And so that's, not to add an extra, because I think what'll just be awesome is just having people actually talk in the language next week. That's really the important thing. And it's like, however it's done, it's just to get to that point, which helps all of us. But just maybe a thing in the back of your head, back of your mind to just consider down the line is that, because I think a lot of times people get that beginning advice and stick with that for the whole rest of the way, and so then it just becomes chukukei, just any old way kind of thing, rather than, there's like the Nakahiti version, which Dick Dowenhauer called Hunter Karais, which is a little. He did great work. So I'm not criticizing him right now, but it's just the idea that you could just create amalgamations from just whatever's out there without really trying to understand context and lineage and how a story is particularly told in a particular place and how you might be connected to that place. That starts to become important as you learn more.
Yeah.
So just things to keep in mind for later.
Yeah, and there is, I'm not I can lie about it. It's no big deal. Right? but if you look at how many people, there's 9 of us here, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And if you look,
I think it's good that we don't have, an audience, and as much as we need our elders and speakers there all the time, sometimes it's good just to be experimental and just try things out. Even though it's recorded, and then they can look at it online.
Well, I think there should be times where you are trying it out in larger audiences in different ways. But I think the other thing to keep in mind is we're trying to add to the pool, and that's why we're pushing ourselves in this manner. Is if we look at the stories that we have now and that we've been covering, and if you say how many people could do that right now, and I think we're down certainly in the single digits. I think there's more of us here who are studying it intensively than there are people who can do it in the world today. You know, people who could tell you the stories using the type of complexity that's expected as far as concepts, metaphorical language, and the pushing your language skills as well. So we got to keep doing with the checking in now. So Shakshani Ish.
I've definitely feel like I've learned quite a bit, but I also feel like I may have not been as prepared as I wanted to be for this class. I definitely know that there's a lot more. I'll probably have to take a look at or start reading a lot more of like the verbs, linguistics, and just kind of have more of that stuff around. But I do believe that this class is just being able to just kind of sit here and hear the words over and over again to the point where I can recognize what's being said over and over, and just kind of making those connections as to, okay, that's what this means, that's how you use it. And so I feel like it's been really good. I've definitely appreciated everyone, you know, especially with the fact that it is a comfortable place, and I'm not sweating bullets trying to say something in Tlingit and being afraid to make a mistake, whether it be in English or Tlingit, and so I think that's very valuable.
Okay. Geesh.
Costume.
That's your
Oh, you said you put it said. Oh yeah, wait.
Okay.
Semester's been okay. I really like this class.
Okay, so that's enough. Geesh.
Hoot. All I want to say is that the idea that there's spirit in anything is not just theoretical. That I was just thinking today. I was listening to Harold Jacobs singing Chachachgook. And before that, I was listening to George Davis, and before that, I was listening to Austin Hammond. And there's totally a feel of being inside an A&B hall. This is like immediate history that's connected to the clan houses and the traditional history, but 1980s and 70s and 60s and 50s are and that those generation of elders are still lingering, and the feeling of them are still in people like Nora Downhour. The problem is most people don't know how to grasp that, you know, to soak in that feeling of being inside, you know, a party in Huna in the late 1960s or something like that, you know, that it's a real feeling, and I think we all have some connection to that, whether we grew up, you know, with it or not. We all have some connection to that, and I think that's where it starts, to get the language and to get the traditions, to get the stories, and then everything else feels intellectual, which is good. You need the intellectual, you need to conceptualize it and get it, but that spirit, that feeling, that atmosphere, and spending time with it, and lingering with that, and you know, just trying to let all that energy that Cyril George emanated, and Nora emanates, and George Davis from Cake emanates. I think that's a really important thing.
Okay.
So.
Geesh. Geesh away, Janae. I appreciate you guys' hard work, I really do. I think you can rate this class still. You should do that.
Yeah. Let me say that. Even if we shouldn't just say only rate it if you like the class, but I have a natural bias, and I think that's okay because we have to be advocates at some point, and frankly, politically, it helps if you believe in Tlingit languages to be and Tlingit content and Alaska Native content to be in the university. It helps to put those positive ratings into the classes. So, and so I did. I put in as positive as it could possibly be, even if internally we have discussions like, fear and this and that or whatever. Like it's a political tool, and so even though if you also want to rate it however you want, but just recognizing that it's a political tool in the sense these kind of things, little things, have effects on how curriculum gets put in the school. So.
I think course evaluations ended.
Did they?
Yeah. It ended yesterday.
Just as I was giving my talk. Okay, I did it yesterday.
I'll check. I'll see if I can open it.
Bummer.
Okay, I forgot to mention that.
Hopefully, every single time we have a Tlingit or Native class,
we should, and you guys, you should rate it however you want, and you should also feel free to always let me know if you think of things that could improve this class. It doesn't usually hurt my feelings. I've seen interesting things in student evaluations, but they're usually great things, But there are, I think this is better than the last time I taught it, and I think it's going to be better, way better the next time I teach it. I'm just kidding. But it's really fun to try and push ourselves to stay in the language as much as we do. I really do appreciate that. So I'll look tonight at course evaluations. I'm sure I can extend it in the next week or so, because I didn't announce it for any of my classes. As far as, and I'll let you guys know a little bit more next week about what I'm thinking about for next semester. I don't have a current plan in place to teach an upper level language class, but if I did, I would probably want to focus on
Raven Swords?
one of three things. Why don't we could do Raven Sword. I thought of doing a Tlingit transcription and translation class, because then I could give you guys work to do, which was awesome. I mean, there's when it's just you and the text, and you don't have, and it really helps you to see how much work goes into making something like this, which is awesome. And and their process historically has changed, and with especially the Sally Hopkins story here, what they would do is they would sit down and go and work on it themselves, the Dow and Howers, and then they would usually have a class, which was Tlingit's oral literature or some sort like that, and then they would have, and I sat in on one of these classes, one of the last classes I took for my undergraduate degree, and we had Nora in the room, and then on the phone was a whole bunch of people in Sitka, including Dastiya, and at times at least one or two other speakers. Tla, I think, was there a number of times. And then we would just really have these awesome debates about the lines. And so I don't know if we'd do it in that level, because that was awesome, but we could certainly try and recreate it. The other sort of things I was thinking about is developing a Tlingit language maintenance class, which is really for people who've been through most of the classes or all of the classes that we have, and this is one, because there's a lot of people who, the last Tlingit class they had was 4 or 5 years ago, and if you're not continually pushing yourself, then pretty soon you can really just do the basic kind of stuff. I was thinking of that, and then I'm also trying to challenge myself in the language community to bring Tlingit into new places. We call this domains. So I'd really love to develop vocabulary for doing a wide variety of things that aren't typical Tlingit things. I think we have to have that pu'ik and oratory, but I think there should be, basketball and board games and talking about current events, and there should be some more push to do stuff like that, which would be a challenge. So those are the sort of things that are rallying. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do any of them. We might try some of them. We might try one of them. So give it some thought, and we'll talk about it a little bit more next week after everybody's phenomenal presentations. Okay. Moving along. So we are going to do Alex Andrews' Battle at Indian River. We're going to try to move a little quickly through the reading of the material so we can get into a little bit of discussion, and hopefully we can get through a number of stuff before we... So this is our last class where we're just sort of having the class focus on the language. So this one is under Battle of Sitka. I think it's called under the Tlingit Oral Literature tab. I'll screen share it as well. We'll read 10 lines, read up to the number 10. So you would read that whole line. That would be where you leave off. Okay. Who wants to go first?
Koch.
Okay.
Yeah, wait, sorry, how many lines?
Wait. Wait. 10. So your last line would be start huseti. You would read that whole line, and then we'll move seamlessly to itwu, and then shakshan.
Sorry, I was already so into it. Yeah, ish edach aya pasanik. Yeah, ish edach astudat skasnik. Ade start huseti. Ya shukhanach, ya hakach huashi, ya anushi. Ade start huseti, ya pusagam.
Okay. Itwu.
Ach ish kedach aya, chajak kedach, hooch. Let me. Hooch. Tlach achin akasanik, ach aya chwasaku, tletzukut chwagik tle asakhu tin, he kuna kakat awe uakuch, hinde kuna kakat.
Ach aya duya uakuch ya anaut. Aya dak aya ausi at chayes. Ach at kakati nik awe. Ayawa lle ayawa lle awash kade awlik bitch. Adach aya at tich. Ayatlach kut aya at uwacha. Ayaya hinde ko aya tlehadewu kuch. Kawe ana ut tleyach had uwa kuch. Anushi chuk aya ye yati ya anaud koa. Yahin Yahinde koa aya Tlingit ani ya village aya.
Yeah. Those of us in class, there's some chunks missing on our
Some
printout. Printer made some interesting decisions. So we might catch a few areas. I have it on the screen, and so there was some weird mix-up between the printer. So Yahinde Pu'a Aya Tlingit Ani. Ya village Aya Akyeyeti.
Costing, or should I read? Okay. Akyeyeti. Un Uchisaya on Hitkituch Ya Anakut. Duus Artuch Saya Ya Wafech Ukasha Nak. Teshwudus Ko. Tahenach. Kekida Ka De Shundus Gage. Achuchowa Yan Ya Anakut. Chawayu at Kunisawa Dukach Kuduwashi. On Kau Chaya Ya Yachat Kunakain.
Aduch Sayu Yawashech Yukashanak. Ha Hinde Kwakeye Yawaka. Haj away Cha and Kawu. Haj away Yahwashech. Aya Kanduka Yipua. Yakeye Yawaka. Ha Wunaha Weka Shanak. Kachat away. Kachaj away. Cha and Kawu. Hech away. De Akawu Nig Shukat. Yan Katisnuk Aya. Kuch with the good. Yaka.
Aka Kais Hitte do a shot in the Koa. Dech Aduschi Aka Ka Shanak Dukush Katli Aya Ach K Kaudusle Khas Udun ze Idu Kais Abachat Ich Koa Yasiti Yahinde Koa Akwachai Aya do Yegich Aya Yasaka Ehe
Ach, sate. Tlingit Kli away. At away Clash Awacha. Clach Asyasa Kunain away Awacha. Ch'achuk. Ch'ak Sati Aya Clajiu doing knock. Yaka Hinde Plajiu doing knock. Hey Hittach. Aya Clay Aya Atwachun. One ka Hittach Aya Atwachun. Yes, do nuk do ish.
Discard te Akayan Duspunji. Discard ke Ashunaya. Anushi Adia way Duhun. Ashitsin and Goti. Utle Atukuhuaya. Do ish. Do ish. Duhan Kuch Wuig. Stunuk Kua.
Kagwantani Yakich Ayas Sete Yastunuk Hayatuhun Atwukuhu Awetle Yahin Letu to Kagwantan Yadich Ayas Sete Ayacha At Gukaha Nuk Aya Nis Wujakak Ebi Wasaguka Kakani on Yadi. Ayu Ashe Us Ayu you on Yadi. Itagwantan Yadi.
Where? Chutle Stakat Yede away ya anachut ya du hunk ya stunuk du hunk Tletlak du hunk Tlet du ina yadi ayu Ayach Akwake Dunik Witka Widlitka Adeyu Ikausineye Tletlech Kahu Health Gidin away ya Yandus Kane away Tlet du Tuwu Ke Nanik Stunuk Kua
Achawe yes would do e at Kesh awucha akinach awe kanukch Sani awe dakte you anasnich we do at kai tu chakut at awe du keg na du teach tu chakut at adach aka teach tle tu chaka yan u teach adach awe dakte tle shadush tle away where are they called to yede shadush tle
Sati yan ha ayat la konaye good. Tlet wu ha ye awe cha on ko awe tlet nechte. Tlenechte yan la gudi awe dwi she yasika. On yadi on kawu yakuna on ni kuch wasa you yaw du zika yitk wasa yaw du zika.
Tashya yaw du ne achawe yan du in in yad yet kij. Ade yaw sakaye shit accountinik. Achawe yaw sakadu ish kay yad part sekandak kashahash kuchwe. Ihiyit ikat nakadahun.
Yahat Hoshahaniat Achawaye Osaka Nakun Uthad Oakai Yakude Yiju Dene Yadu Hwaku Du Ish Hwaku Taikonaye Wakahade Yenash Hush Inyech Akawe Yaus Hush Where Pain was a Aka Jikawaka Badush Hush Tate Badush Hush Hushi Tabai Awe Klayash on the head.
On away, yak had you cook, a yesu kuku yak away, just cut day. Just cut away do yak ya do the car, stu Udu kitch away, a yesu kuku yak to hot cook. Kasyan paye yawaka. Do iqa anqagut way keek. Kasyan do keek kua away cities do nuke. Do inayadi. Achaway kleade ku cow do a car in hunchuch.
Is good away tle. The yik away of the nuke.
at wugud asyan digi kat wugud. Ya du ki has we ich dark away set she duk on she away to she duk on ye away to a sakwe to she away to she duk she
Ya kagwantan yaki ya de cut away at pin duk h who se ach ya du yach ya du zakayis du yan apsa ach away asyan ye ya waka wa ye ya du ska hik wa away it be away ye ya du zaka it dat at away
Awe, chutle ta ka awe awatsek, stunuk kua, tlech awe ach tua ushku, ye chat, da ya dukayi, tlecha ach tua ushku, ha achji, ya adecha, da ya gach duka ye, ihi, kalstianch awe ach kuslegek, kalstian, ihi.
Ehe kik de du tuch siwe ya shakanal wu che yachyan natin du tundatani kalyan kua aga awe adach auslishat du kak hlakayi you ikdak has at she dukan yaha tak ke has du yatki ayutsu chukanedi yatki ayu aya ya du takich su ades wusaneye awe tle touch yet has acaudinig
Tar awaf uni awetles de chude kekawa suswechan. Jutla awe tla ardach yes aw sini. As du het katawe has ayaw li tu. Stunuk tu chu ye kuwanik. Yaha ka gwantan yati tu chu ye kuwanik. Aka awe nelte du skutku. Nelte, weqin wasi, achawe ushtul khisht, anu shikak yes kuwanik, anu shikak, kadem yan hasni weta,
Adadawe hajak chakawasu siaka guantan. Yakek sati has to hiti ashyan to hiti dad ech yotu tzak. Hech ate wushdach yes nach du tzene yekubusti. Ahas awe yachas kausahih. Tzakiwu aye. Khanat suchu ye wush de gisht. Anu shikach. Ahas wush ich at the neek cut away yes outsini. Wush ich at the neek cut.
Yan kanik dana apa awe shukrana awe itu wasagu ye yad ajahin at awe sa ayin we hit kuwat kun as awe wushkat would suan darkun as Yahweh awa'ad.
What sachech ide, dat I away achyeeti, dat I adach away would do a tea with tuck would do a jock way that I I'll do a call with Bajaheen hit claim.
Du jock de chaya at dade gune awa at ya hit claim dade. A dot a art a yak on teen away klesh away yan klesh a yesu a da khanka.
Taste, it's
Taste.
sap.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, sap. Yeah, the torches, I think.
Taste. A yesu a da khanka. Ya on the adia way. A nushich cruise team. How de qach I yachawe yawaka. We anushi. A taïda way, Yauduzati, Shewe Khan. At Achai Kua, Ichayak, Shatuda way, Shatsis, Kasyan Dukiski Has.
Awan Mushchude du stage. Kude na yak an yaki du kiski has Kasyan. Awantan yaki Hachukineti yaki. Ye awe Hakude ye adane. Badustin we speak anach dak. The seas aka away. Tau duwaha anushi an kawukua away the key.
We nu shakit away atwagut we hit clean shaki. The khoon us whooshed would do what su. A gayanach huka gagas away. Ka kachanigi kaudua woos. Wasa shte uwu ku'u away wenach yan uwakuch. Away ayahayi away toot away tzel. Chas anyatki away. Kalsyan du kelski has away anyatki away. Achawe we anda una stu I kayakau doodly jes anda una tak jikdu at away whoosh shukach away sluda guk.
Dukantin stunuk. Tle dukan ka shuka wushihi teen away widjituk away jituk. Ashukach away yan wusita. Chukanedi yadi kagwantan yadi koa away do it yan wusita stunuk kleye away kawa suits kalyan koa away away yik away ak yao di a ach satin du kelke has
Shkash Jewish Adi Aka away youth Jew the good Ade Takash Ya Akhanashat Kita to sit Kautik Jichan at Ayit Jitagu Dawa do yet would do triun we on da una away clew tigit Tayanach atwe a suyawa cook we hawush yach Takash teen kahenach a would do tiku away kach
Wait, yes. Kach. Kach. Kani anushi. Ayach away booty. Atawa awa jesh. It's Keste adeya anashini away. Takch. A ini away to takch. Anach yach. Skoude yidi. Yach awushnach. Anach yaktu akuk. Awa. Let's stop there. Take about 8 minutes or so, and then we'll come back. We'll work through it. Geesh with his Geesh.
away.
Panic about wondering when we have to have our stuff in for review. Because it's like, yeah, it's so good. Hopefully I didn't miss that. What?
Aaron just texted me that I'm married.
His the new one?
I don't know.
Mayor away or not?
I know.
She just said he was found in his home. Yeah. I know his son.
The only thing I like better than no snacks in the vending machine is a picture of somebody eating chips on the vending machine. That's no snacks. Huh? That one has snacks? Oh, wine.
Apparently our marriage is died.
Huh?
Our marriage is died.
In Juneau?
Yeah. Greg Fisk.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was just elected.
That's right.
Yeah, there's a little thing on APOO, but it doesn't. It just said he was found in his home.
Wow. Crazy.
Meryl Sanders is happy. What if it,
I doubt it.
does that mean he's the mayor again?
I don't know. I don't know. Is it like,
Is there a vice mayor?
is it kind of like some other city councilman?
Do we re-vote? Weird.
There's some snacks, and I realized we had snacks in here.
Did you see this? I think this is the I see. We have 260. Oh, it's enough. Probably same.
Okay, so you should be able to rate the class. So far.
I think I've done that before. Did you read them?
What's that?
Do you read them?
Yeah.
I think I put mine in here. I should put secret. We should put secret codes through.
Just write them all in quickly.
They'll never know. Yeah, I think I should.
What was I gotta make some highlights here. Back up. Where were we?
I was like, you saying that to me? Because that's who's being insulted. Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
I haven't seen
You
my
get some
big ass.
some luck. I didn't hear it.
What Ayahayi Awatut was it. It's pretty hardcore. Ayahayi Awatut was it. 251, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4. Atahayi. Awesome.
They utter cool, hot take. Cool. Wasigu dinner go to
Just go.
go to
Wait. Oh.
go to
Oh, yeah.
go go
Dog.
to odd. How's Wasigu?
Dog. Yapda. Dach. Cool. So what?
Yapdatach
Dach. So cool.
Siaden.
Yeah.
The Tier.
Kingston, Washington.
Oh, wait. Wait.
Work Wednesday.
Art dot. What sure.
I think we should do Tuesday or Thursday. Maybe after winter. Yeah. We have till 7:30 on Thursday. So maybe we could do it on
Okay.
Okay.
dinner.
What's the change they do a subway? Canada Click Park Enach No Name Creek. Because he's a team where Kakatu Katijikishti Ferry Terminal Day and the he's a team. What's the change? The Uski Yuchatangi. You gay at Port Lake Yuchatangi. No Name Creek. Yeah.
Just, yeah, that's.
It sums it up. It really sums it up.
Just like that. You guys see that picture of that guy in the sports team guy with like all this Indian chief stuff on, pointing at a dignified native elder, like, let me tell you.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
I'll tell you. You don't know.
Really good impression. I know you were so multi-talented.
active skills paying off.
That's all my years in theater.
In case we'll just brush up on one thing, and then we'll pick back up with the reading. When we have like a verb, even if the word before it is not part of the verb itself, like sometimes you get these preverbs and stuff, but if that word ends with a vowel, it might cause contraction on the verb itself. And so when you get the vowel ending and the next verb starts with a W, you get aweo jatuk. Aweo jatuk. So it sounds just like, it's just, you just got to combine them. They smash into each other, and this is something that happens. You get used to it when you're seeing like keo jatuk. It blew up, and then those are, you would write them as K and W jatuk. So what happens is wood jatuk becomes keo jatuk. So it creates contraction, and it's just the way that Tlingit verbs work. Is they tend, if it's only the perfective marker, it's a very soft marker. It gets impacted by lots of things. So let's keep that in mind, and we'll pick up our reading.
Can I give a couple?
Good.
I'm working on these myself too, so always keep that in mind. It seems like there's we make short vowels many times when they should be long vowels, when they're written as long vowels. I think sometimes we hear how fast the speaker talks, and so we think that if we shorten vowels, we'll sound more fluent. I don't know if that's the case, but it just that seems to be what happened. And then there was another thought. Oh, aware and tle and ya and those small markers, if they're overly emphasized, I imagine to a speaker would sound like, "How are you doing?
No,
What is this going on?" You know, kind of thing. And it's not. I'm working on it myself, so I'm not trying to. I want to have a sense of humor, but not as if I'm laughing at, because this is all awesome. It's all awesome. And then when it's just written all without a high tone, just versus So.
Yeah, because you get variations on how to say yes, but a lot of times in oratory, the is more of just a pause.
Mm-hmm.
It's really just a pause. And early on, when people were first transcribing, it's like, yes, 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 but really it was, and you get this with away once you get into translations. Like, what do you do with that? And it's always a stylistic decision. And the tle, and so especially when you hear speakers where the tle is stacking up a lot within a sentence, because there are tones, there's vowel length, and I think the vowel length thing it's an ongoing thing. It's one of my personal struggles is making sure that I'm not shortening things, because I think that just happens a lot because in English you don't have not only do you have vowel pairs, but you have these vowel, I don't know, what do you call fours? Not a pair, but a quadrant. So they can also, and they do that sometimes with regularity, where they're moving back and forth. You don't really have that in English, where one vowel is turning into another vowel, and so it's just always something to keep in mind. Okay.
Geesh.
So I'll do line 290, and then I'll turn it over to David Jensen. One of the David Jensens.
There's 3 of them. Yeah.
David Jensen.
Okay.
Just hanging out with George Davis and David Jensen. Any of the,
you could
19 combinations.
Conrad Frank and Frank Conrad. I want to have a meeting with the 3 of you. It just made my day when I met. I knew Conrad Frank, then I met Frank Conrad. This has happened.
And then Kevin Meyer just put them all together and confuse everybody.
Colleen's office one time, or when I finally met Frank Conrad, a big thing like the galaxy was going to implode.
on Facebook, a friend of mine said, when they shook hands, did they just disappear?
I was talking with Maureen and he came up and he's like, he's here. Like I was supposed to know.
It's like Dermot Mulrooney and Dylan McDermott. He was in Big Miracle.
Oh.
And yeah, and so there was people that went up to, oh, Mr. McDermott, and then he kept it cool because he gets up all the time. So
Okay, back to business. Du kade awe put ha shoot du tehig anushi
Gusa,
tunain
Gusua, tonight.
dechandit kakushak jinka.
Ashian Kade, du dark and a dark away are duck shouting. Hoots Ayahawe Duach, du ish has Ayahawe Duach, a yide nesh to the good away we hit Kayide, Agawe Kaspach Clark Hune Anushi, Kaspach Kladu Itnach away. Arnish Judua at Aide, away to a hit clank, Kupau do a heat away.
Kach ana chudach wusigan yutze wusigan adach dasgan awe tesh ade yudi de unqa gudiye at du gooch away shashe hik we hit claim tan dugu foots dugu Keka shanau dus ide away andak dus kench Dihit nak arch kua away adach dak kuch utch wek on te keka dat away udak
We at dugu. Ye away. His sach kut kashu singit. Anushi kua away say huch ich udul se Ayig kut shua we hit say sagan. Sagan away say huch we hit. Gedak kua away. She de away yech. Gedak we ka. Naskinach ka de in kucha de.
Tan away. Atas achayin anushi. Aga away. Yakukuh shisutude. The yeshkin away wait at Yag. Just you shisutudach away to inin waitan. Ade away wo kuh gedak to iti away. Which kich would do teyech anushi.
Aga duka nan puyawada du hooch kick wududliek anushi. Dudzenek tsu galshat adi anushi. Awe du yiga awe tlech ke dusganch de dukat kuwaha gedak kua adach awe adak kuch awe gaja hink dach kuch awe aga atlik green.
We hit kesh Heen talked over Kutits Kayu Deki Wusita Age you hit Klein Where am I? You owe Chayaka Gedak Kindekwa Gwauzi Hoot Dutat Dach Koa Awe Dultin Atuch Awe Anach Hat Uwa Kuch Uyesh Ke Da Ke Da De Awe Dak Uwa Kuch We Yak Ade Owe Awa Un At Ige Awe Tutle At Ka Kauji Ya Tau Du Chayi Cha
Tau dua ha. Kayak ya yuwa awe ade ya tan. We qiyak kwan ya go. Chakuch awe git seyin awe yan ya dua ha. We git seyi git. There we go. Git seyi ku awe du kinan dak awe at. Du kinach qadu jaqit. Await as hukwa anushi kut ka shu sikhi. Anushi kut shu sikhi. We gedak Tlingit kut a shu sikhi. Shakat yede awe diaduka.
Ha Tanashach Awe Kashat Atika Yak Ukuch Yade Yashitka De Adach Awe At Yaduha Hajudu Chishat At Duchishat At Yakiwe Gachushat Aka Awe Ke Udishyach Ha Hakusaku Jakikat Qach Dulshat Qach Dusnech Tesh Awe Akuhin Chaat Tugani Decade Hint Achich Awe
Aka awe ta duka dak ju dua at udua shad. Adach awe hat ya dua ha. Yashit kak hat ya dua ha. Ya an. Aka weta dapana awe ak shoot a dua ak. Dapana kai gani. Ade awe ya kandushin. De het kadua jeshre ashatali. Yachyagat Dishjak Kaya Shingitsu at Kadua Jesh.
Ach Kinde Gachdus Gan. Aka Awe Ade Ya Kandus Yeni Awe Kajidach Keojich. Das Awe Achie Kandus Yen. Das at Dugu Du Kasank Wudu Waduk. Ye Kandus Yeni Awe. Yak Kanach away on Keojikain, away Kajidach Yut Woodsy Yake. Ya anshude away ya yendus nak. Kak edach away Kenagut.
Pushdag Ayahawe Dua Ach Gedak Kua Gedak on the way of each way they Yanashiv you awake Ayaka Singit way they Yanashiv Gaishad away Akah Weka Shanak Sakat away to Jibu Yai Zaki Sakat
Chukachi awe awach. Duchulichi yach yadu sejak. Anushich Adade awe ka awu iki awe dukande yaneshik hatne dukade yashnaskas ayak awe an udegut. Ha 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 ha. You awe yawaka.
We tsagal adach awashat yai tsari tsagal dak deke wushkeni awe itdeke awaguk awe du slakich kugu kat awe uwagas awe ye kuskudlital aga awe ak dudach dak awa at kipsadich tlel du wajak du shayi adak utuhatlik
Aka awaits on awa at kayi gani gukte kayi gani gukt du ti awe du shayi ja du unayi awe ach dus und du wak kuchdach ka tige awe tsitiwe una awe at ka te atuch kawulke awe kidain kadakach ye awe ye at da dune an awe du wak du und shkawu yesh you awe du wasak we ka
Du Jesuel dutlis we una we on cow shkawal ye Jesuel dutlis gidak una ye kuchdach katiche anwe a walk und a chowa huchke husiti
Achowe nu wududli yech, ke nu klein you du wasa, okowe auf yech du nu wu, shkawus yech nu wu. Adach owe du kat tu da, owe atasechen ha hade, jiguchta gut nuk. Aka owe yan wushit is a nu shishkuna yike. Aka awe, kesh awe adech duwa uni ye kubusti. We anda una chagu anda una ye. Ahudi tayid awe khasha at.
Ach away, kesh would the we knew a shakit away siya the ha kicks adi. Ach away, has ko away, yes yawa way a new she. A gay day aya ye she yenu, a gay day. Wasa yeti which yach zeti yech, I shayech kahin aye yeti yech, dat hins away, gach yedana yedekich, yuna su a kuch adekech, achaway.
A jeep kukow Ajit Pukau Sedusli. Ajit Pukau Sedusli. Yahawe Buti. Achawe Hasdahim. Dog Has Ashayir. Fix Addis Dunuru. Fix Addi. Nach on Nachawe. As Wush K Kauduajesh. Jinkat Hidawe. Ake Yan Mushanuk. Jinkat Hidawe. Ake Yaudu Playir. Kakuk Chain A Kauduaha.
Why you at Kunisawe yan sits iswe anushi dago. Aga awe pasei yadanach awe. Yande yaduha atut katawe kadain atut kadain we please. Aga awe yande yadus kuch we anushi. Aga awe yayidat ashukak kachnik.
At Tuganeka awe wukuch. At Tuganeka. Naste awe wukuch. Kalsyan. Dukelski has teen. At Tuganeka. Dulsnuk ya anushi. Dulsnuk adach awe awa we at Tugani daket. Dadas
Hot aucha oe tle you sheet Llutunach oe darknach wugut kastahin yadade wugut ye oe ayaw seka dukelke has yakuk kukan nashkide de ki nach kwan you knew we yacht you knew yacht koch they do a teen ko we skuna at shalti digana ayad ashika kahnik yata
At kuchowe, at gudwe kastahim yadat, gudwe darknach kalyan. Ayik ashkinawe kutis. Tlayuchuts nu wu yachach ya kandusuna. Kandusuni. Okay. Tlayuchuts nu wu yachach ya kandusuni gwawega. Du kees kehas. Ach kees kehas. Playa ana tschechitin. Owe. Ach kees kehas yuch. Ja kandus Aka awe akas wukuhu. Patu gani dake. Owe jituk.
Nashi ye dachawe ke kokawus. Hikuka Susi, a keek nashtu at a gunny, as the Shalkowe at as Uwaha a new sheech, as the Shalkowe kindick the gods, has a und away, has a und. Kagwas you away to a song wait at untit te away at unt the work on a any day to us
away and away shia ju woodley ka de away Tlingit Anji Silly Awan Tog Tlingit Anji Tlach away do wash de keek here tea Ach away kach tlach a quay ach how de how do a he how the he how the he how the he away yeti skat at wood at kayu the plink do wash to the away sa a wound way a new she away kach shia to the wood lead away on away a cut your
Ach away jituk way atu gani. Us nuuyach ach away ye kaudia. Ach away kina ayande kuya dus kuchlunuk. Ziyak at kuchlinik. Uchk dukeshki has. Chan away ye ayaka yande yadu chachnuk. Way anushi. Adusa achin. Decha ke guchshana.
Ha chut away would ir sush udutlikat ha tuch kuati yachawagati ayakadak adi yutusaku ka hastukani ha ho away de yawaka khat insha khat in ach away hin yich yas kaudua hash hin yich aka away sich a kaudati
Asyan du taxi, Sech a kauduti, in yich away, Yas kaudu wahash, As hastu a away the keep us as at Yadukani teen away, Kaudiki, Kadam aditin, to Dapde at Dukini away, a iqayanach away, Kutka Judin Kwan, a Hudhas Jude at the way Anushi away, a Tuch away, the Woodway Kadi to Wajichan at
Atchaway at Ashutawa Gik Kalsyanch Kua We tux away Jindak Jindot away Ajakauzati We Anach Akodu Watus We tux the Tiki Toxley What the Czech Idach would do Wasayi Tox away Atchaway a Shuksaticht a Shuksaticht We Anushki Sani
was aha.
Oh. Aha.
Okay, so the
Aha.
last round, we'll end with you and we'll get to the whole thing.
Okay. Were we skipping them?
Yeah.
Okay. Kaswes tu ich at tu jiyawakash. Nu ke tues tu guk tle. Nu de nechas tu guk ich yaw tu guk as tu itna. Kaswes tu ich at jiyawakash. Aga awet tu kuch de awel di chuch. We yakt a teach. Kuch de we yaw tu kuch de kana chu. Has yaw tu atla kawe a de.
A new sheet days yaw du butlak. Yakt has a kajesh awe dach case aus yik. We glade an quay. Awe tlech ka daya kushus gay. If in gitch ko sheet awe kudushi. A yach dad katutz ye kay at lingitch. Ach awe clay we tad tu a yawa at tad tu pastahin ya dach ya at awe.
Pastahin yadach at yatki yakandu jash tad tu ayawa at yadu aydach aya anna adiyawe kam de qahwe at katsbru na shayu dak pastahin shakawe at awa at akawe yekhayaka we at katsbru and the qah yajak
Du se kach hakach kunach duashi. Saguha sakusewe. Kandikach. At dach. Yak kajik yenati. Aka ayafle. Kuyaw wagu. Kayut away at nashikas. Chach kanu away ke akhe kuati chach kanu chak ye kuti away has due to kuchte you dine yakuti anushi.
Aka away kajik has akawaka we qiyak Wanda you away to a sa we qiyak an yakadeya ga kuchawe de kin chawe out the sa we late yachyati rukti wati yakt away Kaushiya Kut Atan away.
Kuzi ka ishanshka.
You know, wait to tashi at Shetasa or Kuna. They are what? Kunachas au Shapuk. Ya Shkasnik aya kun adekun shkasnik. Couple things is noting the use of the word "kay," which is in between some things. It can mean in a fort, in a fence, in between the mountains, in your head. It's between the folds is how Lear usually writes it. It's where the word for bay comes from. It's where the word for brain comes from. And so you can see it's used quite a bit in here. And the thing that I think is also probably fading from regular use is that kuch as a directional results in a plus D form of the verb.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, A lot of times people say, "They will good."
Uh-huh.
And it's just one of those things. Just keep in mind it should push the verb plus D.
Even if you check out Angoon Charlie Joseph, Tekwedi Charles Joseph, his speech at the back of the book of Hatu and Aguyas. Shtukagati Angoon de Kugach to the teen. There's a D in that, even though he didn't do the Puch.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Kugach to the teen.
Yeah. And there could be other things that are pushing it plus D, but it's just one of those things to keep in mind.
With gratefulness.
You'll catch some kuch that's not even talking about motion in here, to go back to doing something perhaps, and then you would have it plus D as well. So, pick a number 1 through 8. Next week.
Preaching.
I can go second.
Okay. Wait.
Jinkat.
I'm used to not listening to you guys. It doesn't affect me.
And that's
Rasa?
Cajun.
It's taken.
No?
Play do sugar.
You still take play.
What's that?
He's not gonna do it this time. Sometimes you have us choose a number and then you draw like things like
Oh, sometimes you would draw a number, and then that would be the one who can. That's the order you could come up and pick which number you could go on.
That's how it was.
But now I'm not going to do that. Cheat woo, 7 or 8.
That's it?
You want to be 7th or 8th? Okay. Okay, I'm going to choose train.
Geesh.
I gotta get.
Yeah.
So it's Constantine 8th then?
Yeah, should be the 8th. Okay, any, I mean, there's it's such an interesting course because I always feel like there's so much we're leaving off the table, but there's so much to come back to, and I really encourage you, as, you know, sometimes we just sit and we listen, sometimes we just sit and read, and you can go through here and you should be highlighting things, and we should make people say swan down. We should just make people say that a lot. We should just make people say it, and just, because it's fun to say.
Good pinch else.
Oh, thanks. The pressure's been on, so it's
I'm watching you.
Pinch L Watchman.
I'm developing a pinched L super ego.
Okay, other thoughts? I mean, I highlighted, there's tons of stuff, and there's lots of words like gunpowder barrel and other things. Cake, I think they call it.
All right, we'll take it.
Cheesette.
Geesh.
Okay. Guayahuen.
Interesting that he switches the Nyman just for that one
It
part.
does have the M in there, which is, you know, some really older speakers. There's something, all these trade routes and stuff, and there's a bigger question about the transitional and why the EI to the EE switch was happening, and there's certainly with that one, there's a route you can just sort of imagine, right? And so you don't have it as much in Atlan, but you have Atlan influence primarily being Apataku by the central speakers. And then Carcross, you have the combining influence from this, whatever was getting in Teslin with the EE, and then also with the Chilkoot speakers that were coming up, and then Klukwan Chilkat speakers also going up. Then Yakutat and some speakers in Angoon, and so it's really interesting to look at how that stuff works. Then Qeen, Qeen was really important in both versions of this story, and none of us that were working on this story knew what a silverberry was. I still don't think I would know. But it was big. They went to Chilkat for silverberries. It was big in both stories. Getting insulted was really big in both stories. Being fed a human being was probably one of the things that seemed to push in both. I think in both versions you get that, and then getting insulted for letting the Russians just sort of walk all over them. Those seem to be the two things that pushed it over the edge. If you ever want to know how to say decapitate and crushing little skulls, and I mean, you got Anush Isani, those little Russians, and so you got like tons of just really, and it's heavy stuff, And then when you talk to speakers, and they'll talk about this is stuff that's very delicate as far as how you talk about it, which is why this story carries a lot of weight, and because you're talking about these things and how these things happen, and the ways that the Tlingits could win. They could kill all of them off when this happened, and that it wasn't something that I think when you look at the way our oratory functions, the way our culture functions, it's not something that we're really bragging about, but it was something that I think was pretty phenomenal that they could pull that off. And some of the other things in there were just the methods that they used and things that they learned and knew, and also some of the things that happened that were really tough. And when you look and closely analyze these versions, I think you're getting cause and effect in a lot of them, but from sort of a different philosophical standpoint, where here it's like, and then he did this, and then he did that, and then he did this, and he did that. Whereas in the other story, you're getting, because all of these things happened, it all went wrong. And then when they made amends for it, they had a peace ceremony. She really focuses on what happened after that, where things got lost and people weren't taking good care of things. And so it's really interesting to look at some of those things. And the Tlingit, both of them, is just amazing.
It's really just impressive, aside from just telling the story, you have to know all the place names, and then you have to know all these clan names.
Yeah.
Right.
In there.
Yeah, and there's lots. And so when Sally Hopkins, she's got this whole genealogy before she even gets to the story. It's like 3 or 4 pages long. So it's interesting because sometimes I'll bring this story into classes that aren't, we read it in the Angst class because we wanted to start with like early contact narratives. And so some of the students, it was really kind of strange for them to read because they're not used to the way that Tlingit oratory is delivered. They're like, well, how come she's not getting to the story and really the things that she's doing, and she's tying herself and her whole shagun into the stories. A couple of closing remarks. Thursday, there's a talk from visiting, not just visiting, but from a panel of Northwest Coast artists. That's 12 to 1.
That's at SHI.
SHI in their meeting room upstairs.
In the Living History conference room.
Living History conference room. And
kicking us out.
That's it. All you see is the apple. Send me any questions if you've got them. They've turned the lights out on us here, so we'll see you guys later. Maybe